Howdy, hot shots. So, yesterday, the Washington Post was reporting that Elon Musk plans to fire 75% of Twitter's 7,500 employees. Twitter has now come out trying to play damage control and tell all of their employees that that's not the case and that their job is safe. But Twitter itself was planning on laying off about 25% of the employees. And I feel like an outside person coming in is going to have a better idea of how many people really need to be laid off than the company itself, who is trying to preserve employment. So the hatchet man is coming in and he's going to clean house. I think this is good for Twitter and I think it's good for us. And the reason why I think it's good for us is because I think it will allow more freedom on the platform. You can't be searching through accounts and banning accounts and keeping people from speaking their mind if you don't have the employees to do it. So if you only have 25% of the employees left out of 7,500, so roughly 1,800 employees, somewhere in there, 16 to 1,800 employees, I didn't do the math, but it's only going to leave people to keep the code from degrading, spend time on customer service issues, and do some kind of marketing so that they can continue to capitalize on the platform. Now, if they're going to continue to capitalize on the program by having sponsors, then those sponsors are obviously going to have some influence over what's allowed on the platform. And I actually would prefer to see them go to a subscription model. And I know that might eliminate a lot of the users, but if it was just a very small amount, maybe a couple dollars a year from each of the people, it may actually make as much money from them as they're advertising, but it will allow them to be a freer platform, a place for free speech, a place where people can go on there and speak their mind without having to worry about having their accounts canceled or shadow banned or whatever is going on there. Because there's been a lot of that. And that's been stuff that Elon Musk has touched on when he said that Twitter is actually dying. And so I think it's kind of interesting that he's even still interested in buying Twitter if it doesn't look like it's going to be easily capitalized on while maintaining the integrity of the platform. But coming in and laying off 75% of the people is going to streamline it. It's going to make it a lot. It's going to make it a lot leaner platform that has a smaller nut to cover. You know, they don't have as much expense at the end of the month. It's going to raise the value of the company immediately, because anytime layoffs happen, if you've looked off in the past, their stock typically goes up because their expenditures go down, and that is one way to increase profit. So you can either increase profit by getting more revenue or by eliminating expenditures. 75% of the employees is a big expenditure, especially for a company like Twitter that is mostly dealing in IP and programming and stuff like that. Their biggest expense is going to be their employees. And so if you eliminate 75% of them, it's probably going to drive the stock up. So I'd actually be interested in seeing how much stock Elon Musk holds in Twitter, because if he personally owns a big chunk of it already and he gets investors to come in and buy out the company and then lay 75% of them off, he may actually be standing to make a lot of money personally off of investments that he already has. So there could be a little bit of a conflict of interest there. But it seems to me like Elon Musk has become an expert at getting other people to do his bidding, all while looking like the hero. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if that were the case. Disclaimer, I do not own any Twitter. I don't plan on buying Twitter anytime soon. So this is mostly just an opinion from a user's point of view. And I don't spend a lot of time on there because I don't get any reach. I've gotten shadow banned there before myself. Basically, anytime I try to share my opinions, people come along and start downvoting me. And then I don't get the exposure that I could. And it's a very popular platform. It's hard to get reach on anyway. All of these social media platforms are getting bigger and more congested and having more and more professionals that are coming in to share their opinions, coming in to make videos, coming in to make content. It's all heavily edited. It's heavily tested. A lot of it is copycat material from other producers. And so we're getting less and less genuine content online. We're getting less and less individual opinion because we're just getting the mass opinion fed back to us because that's what's paid off in the past, and that's what the algorithms recognize as being beneficial. So support your local creators, support smaller channels and smaller followings, because that's where you're going to get actual legitimate opinions and legitimate information and anecdotal evidence for whatever it is that you're looking into. Because you're not going to get that from the bigger channels. The bigger channels have their hands tied by advertisers, by the platforms themselves. They've got too much at risk to actually get out there and say what they think. So you should be in all of these platforms, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're looking at. Once a channel gets too big or once a following gets too big, it really does become harder and harder for people to actually produce genuine content. So keep that in mind when you're following people, and I'll see you later.